Right, so I've had a great number of requests from people asking whether or not I'm going to be doing kits of these things, and this is a response video to anybody and everybody who's interested in that. The easiest way to put this to you is that this thing is not a kit like you'd go down to the model shop and buy a kit and put it together. I've known people who have bought those sort of kits, and whilst they snap out, snap together and that sort of stuff, they've still spent 6 to 12 months perfecting what they call to be, you know, a perfect model. This is not within that category. This is a whole thing unto itself. What is a kit as far as this is concerned is probably the biggest thing that I'm going to talk about, and what isn't a kit is probably what I'll be talking about as well. If you're talking about taking on a project like this, pretty much this pile that you see here is what I would consider to be a kit, which is all its primary parts. The pistons, the hands and feet, the arms, the legs, the head, the spine, arm joints, all that sort of stuff. What it's not going to include, whilst it will include things like the pistons, it will not include things like the piston rods or the piston ends. Parts that I'm talking about that you'll need to actually complete a kit would be these sort of things, which I've actually bought as a aftermarket part. I've got these ones from overseas. These sort of things are going to be the things you'll have to consider if you're thinking about taking on a project of this size. The one thing I will offer with the kit, for anybody who's interested in taking it on, is my advice and help where possible. I'm more than happy to field questions via email or even phone if necessary. If I can help, I'll even post how-to videos and that sort of thing for any of the problems that you're likely to strike. Having said that, this is the skull that I've done most recently out of the silicone mould that I've created. The reason why I've done this is because of all the work that's gone into actually remastering this to what I consider to be a corrected piece. The skull that I've done, I'm quite happy with. Most of all, the fact that I've been able to move this seam. The original seam ran down the back here, and you can see where I've done all that cleaning up. This one now is completely seamless, apart from the bottom, okay, where the seam now runs around an area where you're far less likely to see it. If you're talking about getting this sort of thing, this will be coming to you pretty much as you see it here, apart from the cleanup of the seam that's here, and maybe a couple of small details that you want to fill in or improve on yourself. It's ready to go, whether it be painted or chromed or however you want to finish it yourself. It's as close as I can get it to be a completed piece. All of these pieces that you see here have gone through that same process. Now, that's not to say that you're not going to get the occasional piece that's going to need a line, a detail line correcting, or for me, for instance, I would still re-drill out these sort of screw points and actually put real little screws in there, but that comes back to however much time the individual wants to spend on creating it as a model for themselves. I'm not looking at doing this as a commercial venture. I'm purely looking at doing it to recover some of the costs. I'll never recover the time that I've actually put into this project, and really what it comes down to now is that because I have had so many people ask about it, I'm offering up a very limited run of kits. I will probably do 2 full kits, with probably an absolute maximum at this stage of 3 kits. So at this stage I'm only going to be offering up the kit as a full endoskeleton set, so that I can work out exactly how much material I need to use. At this stage I'm guesstimating that it's somewhere between 35 to 40 litres to actually do a complete kit, and depending on whether or not I've actually got any leftover material at that stage, I'll then work out whether or not I'll put a skull up for offer, or you know, somebody at that point might want an arm or something like that. I'm not telling you guys this information to try and scare you off from the idea of taking on a project like this of your own, more to just keep you really informed on how much work is really involved in actually doing something like this. It's not a throw together kit, and there is going to be sundry expenses that you're going to have to look at down the track. Insofar as price is concerned, I'll include a list of the pricing in the description section below, and if you want to find out more about it, or if you'd like to purchase one, Please understand that these are going to be on a very limited run, and it's going to be on a first in best dressed basis. I hope that answers the question for anybody who's interested. Once again, feel free to contact me and go through that information in the description section. That's the video for this time, guys. Talk to you next time.